Okay, I am Scotty. You were not. It's time for the big multi-video ranking recording extravaganza. We start off with, this has been years in the making. I started out doing these reviews back in 2019 when Endgame was coming out. So, yeah, my first year. Which is telling me maybe you should redo all of these and that. No, I think I pretty much have everything to say, and anything new that comes up, I'm probably gonna put in these rankings anyway. But yeah, man, a lot of movies to go through, especially when you're doing exploring the MCU and you're just going boom, 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 boom. But was it 2019? I swear I did it in lead up to Endgame, but Endgame came out in April of that year, May, right? So maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Whatever. I reviewed a couple of the TV series as well. I did WandaVision, I did Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then I started doing episodes of What If, and then it stopped. They were just coming out. I'm gonna do okay. So when we get to Phase 4, I'm gonna do Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4. When we get to Phase 4, I'm doing the movies and the TV series separate. So you have one ranking for the movies, one ranking for the TV series. I just figured that was more fair than to put all the TV series with the movies. It's also gonna help my sanity a little bit, in trying to. Why does it feel like you should be seeing more of me and not? Okay, do it like this then. Although I need to. That's as far as that can go. All right, so we do it like this. I just feel like it'll work better that way. Okay. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and start the Phase 1 ranking right now. Excuse me, that was a burp, inappropriate burp, bad burp. Okay, so Phase 1 has 6 movies in it, and so it's probably easy. When we get to Phase 3, that's going to be the one with a lot of them. And then when I eventually rank, okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to rank all the movies because they release so much. It's really going to be hard to do it. I'm thinking, and this might be very, very hard to do, but after they finish Phase 6, now I don't think that's going to be the end of the MCU by any means, but I feel like maybe they might want to take a break ski after that, and I can do all, I suppose I could do a ranking of the first 3, and I could rank the Infinity Saga, right? I could do that sometime, because I've already got these things planned out. I don't know, and rank all of the Infinity Saga together, and then do all the Multiversal Saga when that's done. So maybe, and then I have to split that up into movies and TV shows. But anyway, to the Phase 1 ranking, we're already like almost 4 minutes in, and I've yet to rank anything. So 6 movies. So coming in at number 6, the worst movie of Phase 1 is Iron Man 2. Now, Iron Man 2 is basically rehashed stuff from the first one, right? He has alcoholism, which supposedly was fixed in the first one, but he's drinking more, he's going crazier, he's passing out in giant metal donuts. The villain, kind of meh, and it's, again, another one of those things in the early MCU where it's, this guy is just like the other guy type thing, because in the first film, the villain was Ironmonger, and it was the same as Iron Man. It's basically the first Iron Man suit, and here, it's a suit powered by an arc reactor, only he uses whips, but it's still very similar. I think Robert Downey Jr. is good in this. Don Cheadle was also good, but I did like Terrence Howard. And this was just like one giant build up to the Avengers. Like, we're putting this stuff in there. And what always confused me is they say Tony Stark, like Iron Man is good for the Avengers. Tony Stark, not good for the Avengers. So, yeah, and then he ends up going in anyway. Maybe after he proves himself. I don't know. I did like having Fury in it more. It's building up to the Avengers, but it just, you know, more of the same, I guess. Number 5 is going to be Captain America, the First Avenger. Now, Captain America is my favorite Avenger. I'll still say that, even though Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character. I still don't 100% call him an Avenger, though. He's sort of just an ally to the Avengers. You know what I mean? But this movie, it's basically a war film. I'm not a big war film guy, says the guy who bought the Apocalypse Now steelbook. Hey, I'm a steelbook guy, all right? And I have war films, but I don't know if I ever watched it. War films are historically long, and this is not that long, 123 minutes. Back when they were Marvel movies were kind of sticking to the 2-hour format. How long was Iron Man 2? 124 minutes. That's close. But I do like, and it's an origin story. I've mentioned this before. I'm not a big origin story guy. I just want to see Captain America fighting, which we do. Halfway through, he becomes Captain America. But what do they do? Captain America. Every Bond is the bullet in the barrel of your best man's gun, or something like that. And he doesn't actually get to fight until like 3/4 of the way through, and he goes through and he's fighting and stuff. But when he starts fighting, that's when it really gets good. I do like some of the character development stuff and his relationship with Bucky and with Peggy and stuff like that. We don't really get Tommy Lee Jones coming back. I know his character is Deed, but I think it's pretty. And Joe Johnston directed this, and so I got give props to that, because he also directed The Rocketeer, which is an underrated Disney film, and it's also a period piece like this one. So that it's not a bad job by any means. Number 4 is Thor. And this one was a big question. It was the first big question mark for the MCU, because I was like, okay, Thor, that could be cool. Then I saw the trailer and what they're doing with the movie. Oh, he falls to Earth, and the trailers meant look like he lost his memory, but he didn't. And it's just like, okay, what are we doing now? But then I watched the movie and I was like, this is actually good. This is actually really good. You got Kenneth Branagh behind the camera in the director's chair, whatever you want to say, and he makes this Shakespearean epic that is 114 minutes long. Still not over 2 hours yet. And a great cast. Chris Hemsworth, who at this point you only knew as Kirk's dad in the Star Trek reboot, right? You had Tom Hiddleston, who you knew as who? And then you had Anthony Hopkins, Oscar winner, Idris Elba, who probably was known just from the Prom Night reboot, and Natalie Portman, Star Wars type stuff. So you got a good cast here. A couple of unknowns at the time, but they really brought it in, and you got some good action. CGI, you go back to that time, it wasn't the best, but this is when they were still with Paramount, by the way. But yeah, I think it's a great story. It's basically, if you think about it, it's Hamlet. Think about it, right? If you think of the Lion King is Hamlet. So, two brothers at war. Here it's an uncle. There it's an uncle and a nephew. But there were two brothers involved. He doesn't kill his brother. The father dies, and it's similar to Hamlet, I guess. Similar to Lion King, whatever. But I'm moving on. Number 3. The truth is, I am Iron Man. Yes, Iron Man. It's never been like the cream of the crop for me, but this was the first big. As Iron Man came out, and I was like, okay. I loved watching the animated series when I was a kid, and in reruns on Jetix, Disney XD or Jetix, whatever Disney's Jetix, Toon Disney at the time, I think, was airing those, and this again, Disney owned those cartoons, and this is still Paramount, and it is 125 minutes, so just around the 2-hour mark. But yeah, so I knew who Iron Man was, but again, within the media, not very many movie going on. This is new Iron Man. You put a Batman movie or some movie, they know who that is. if you met like a Captain America or an Incredible Hulk, they know who they are. But Iron Man, in terms, even the 90s, I think it was the 90s Avengers TV series didn't really use Iron Man. The Ant-Man was their leader. The Hank Pym version of Ant-Man was the leader of that cartoon. Avengers United We Stand. It had your big Avengers, but the four main ones, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Captain America, were not there. I think a couple of them made cameos, but they weren't really there. It was like the secondary team, really. Ant Man, Wasp, Tigra, Wonder Man, Vision, Scarlet Witch. That's all I can think of. Ultron was the villain. I had a Vision action figure from that set. I also had a Mandarin action figure from the Iron Man set. Yeah, we'll talk about the Mandarin when we get to Phase 2. Oh, we gonna talk. But anyway, yeah. But so this. As much as I do not like origin stories, this was a great origin because it's one of those where you don't wait till the very end for him to become Iron Man. He's been Iron Man. He creates that suit at about 30 to 40 minutes in, and then he works on making a new one. You see him making it throughout, and he's flying that thing around about halfway through the film. So it's not like you're waiting the entire film. The villain, though, casting Jeff Bridges as a villain, not a bad idea. Making the villain the same thing as Iron Man, bad idea. Basically, he's just a bigger, more silver version of Iron Man, Ironmonger. It's actually Tony's first suit. But he has one of my favorite lines through the MCU. Tony Stark built this in a cave with scraps. That line, I love that line. And I love that they call back to it in Spider-Man Far From Home, because Peter Billingsley, who has a cameo as the guy he yells at, is in that movie as well. Cameo thing. But yeah, it's a great start. And I will say the one scene that makes me go, oh, what could have happened? What could have been is where Terrence Howard's version of Rhodes looks at the suit and goes, next time, baby. And now in hindsight, you just go, no, nope, not next time. Don Cheadle comes in. But yeah, fun film. Okay, now this is where you MCU lovers are going to, you're like, why is this up so high up? We'll put this at the bottom. I don't get why, because it's one of my favorites. Number 2 is Incredible Hulk. Now, much like I mentioned with the Iron Man series and the Avengers United We Stand series, I grew up watching the Hulk cartoon series. And as much as Hulk, Ang Lee's Hulk, deviates from the source material, and it deviates, this, to me, is the best cinematic version of the Hulk that we're probably ever going to get, because MCU is not able to make a standalone Hulk film, despite the people saying, oh no, they got the rights back. They haven't yet. As far as I know, Universal still owns it. So this is all we get. And the length of the film, 1 hour, 53 minutes. Still under 2 hours. And I think Edward Norton is great. What is that? That's that one. The one underneath. Is that the same? It is the same. I was thinking of the disc. The disc, this one actually has the thing. I love the disc. Oh. It's the... I think this was on the 3D version of the Blu-ray, if I remember correctly. Walmart used to have a 3D Blu-ray section, and I wanted to get them so much. It was just a little more expensive than the regular ones, though, for some reason. Then that went out, so now you can't even get the TVs anymore. But I have a few 3D Blu-rays. Actually, my copy of Civil War is the 3D Blu-ray, because they didn't have one with a DVD. They stopped doing those. But Edward Norton is great as Bruce Banner. I like the story. Hulk is Incredible Hulk is a fugitive story. You've seen that in the TV series. He's always on the run. even in the 1970s series with Bill Bixby, he's always hitchhiking, walking down the road. He never stays in one place. That is the Hulk to me. And this is still one of the better films in the MCU, despite people that just hate on it for no reason. You know, a lot of people even forget about this. Like, did they make a Hulk movie yet? You know, yeah, the villain again is another version of you. But when Tim Roth is Tim Roth, you get Tim Roth. He's fantastic. Uh, and of course, favorite line. I should just say favorite line from this movie. My favorite line is where he says in Portuguese, he's supposed to say, "Don't make me angry. Don't like me when I'm angry." But because he doesn't know Portuguese enough, he goes, "Don't make me hungry. You won't like me when I'm hungry." And they're like, "Huh?" But yeah, this is still a great movie. I see it on TV once in a while and I'll put it on. It is fantastic. The action scenes are great. Liv Tyler is supposed to be coming back for New World Order, right? American New World Order. We need more continuity with these in there. And everybody's saying, oh, maybe they can do a multiverse thing where Edward Norton comes back. And it's like, no, because it's the same characters. Not a multiverse. It's the same character. You have actors coming back to reprise their roles. You had William Hurt, rest in peace. Now Liv Tyler's coming back. And then you have Tim Blake Nelson. Who, okay, and I'll admit it, when I first saw this, when he was thrown by Blonsky into that stuff and he falls down and it like dripping off his head, I thought he was dead. And someone's like, he turns into the, like he was supposed to turn into the, like in the comics he turns into the leader, which I know the leader, voiced by the great Matt Frewer in the animated series. So says the leader. He's got to say that at least once in the movie. He's got to say that at least once. Okay? I don't like the design that they gave him in the New Avengers animated series that Disney put out. You know, they United They Stand or whatever it was. Avengers Assemble or Avengers or I think it was Avengers Assemble. He just goes straight up. In the Hulk one though, it looked like a throbbing skull, like it was. You can see like freaking veins on his head. He looked great. I hope they make him look like that and not straight that, because that would be. But you guys gotta wait for that trailer. I guess that's coming out in a few years though. But yeah, underrated I think. But if you've gotten this far, you already know what I've said. Number one is the one. It is the Avengers. Now, when I first saw this, I was disappointed that they were just rehashing Loki as the villain. I'm like, could they use something like Ultron or Red Skull or something where they had the Chitauri, which was in the Ultimate Avengers story, but they didn't have Grand Kaiser. You know, the villain of that film. That animated film. You should review those. They're good. Bringing them together. I also didn't like the fact that Hawkeye was like hypnotized for most of it. And it's because you gotta have some separated, bring them together, because if they all fought together at the beginning, it'd be over. So they have to have them come together and stuff. But this was like my son's favorite movie, like for like ever. I don't know if it still is, but you know, the more and more I watched this a lot when he was growing up. So he's still only 11, but like when he was younger, he wanted to watch. I want Avengers. So I watched this a lot, and I learned to appreciate it. I learned to love it. Of course, great lines. Not a great plan. And we have an army. We have a Hulk. You know? But yeah, this is number one. What can I say? The acting. My favorite scene, though, is when they all go around the circle and the thing, you know, comes around. They kind of tried to copy that in the second one. But, you know, but yeah. Oh, also another line. He's my brother. He is adopted. But yeah, puny god. yeah, this comes in at number one. It is absolutely the best of Phase One. It brings all these together, and it started with Iron Man, that post-credit scene in Iron Man, when you have Samuel Jackson show up. He goes, "My name is Nick Fury." We had talked about the Avengers initially. Like, oh. Thing is, so we go back to Incredible Hulk now. All right, so I watched Incredible Hulk for the first time, and I was like, we were putting together a team, and then I was talking to my friend Tim, and he's like, "Yeah, because they did that scene at the end after the credits in Iron Man." I'm like, "What? There's no scene." "Yeah, there is." And I'm like, "What?" So I had to put it in. I'm like, "Son of a bitch." So yeah, they did set it up, and I didn't even know. I wonder how many people actually missed that the first time they watched Iron Man, because MCU is responsible for now people putting post credit scenes and everything. So you want to fast forward to find them, but yeah, comes in at number one. So that is my ranking for Phase One. What are your thoughts on that? No comments. Let me sure like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.